of the things we see WEVO as is a means to really scale high impact and meaningful CX insights that can be highly effective in forming an optimization campaign or work that's happening to improve user experience in visual design or validation of existing design or fresh design, as well as ongoing, I think, CX optimization work to inform hypotheses around everything from user interface to messaging to UX breakdowns, as well as user flow and design work. So I think the utility or the flexibility of the insights that you're able to apply into optimization work is exceptionally useful for an agency like ours that's focused solely on CX and user experience.
Another reason why we love WEVO so much is the insights that we're gathering are fairly difficult or time intensive to be able to gather through other means. A traditional usability study might be 5-7 people per flow, and then we'd want to probably look at a couple different flows. Soup to nuts, it's going to be maybe a 6 to 8 week turnaround for building out the research brief, running that into the remote usability tool, collecting insights, delivering, et cetera, so on. All the annotation, all the admin that's there. It's really labor intensive, and it is the right option for certain goals. But with WEVO, we get to amass hundreds of points of feedback from many users. I'd even say thousands of points of feedback from hundreds of users at a given time. And for many of our customers, in a matter of 2 weeks. So the turnaround time and the number of insights that we're gathering really fuels our work, and to be able to come up with new, fresh opportunities for improving engagement and experience.
I think you make a good point about the number of insights. One of the things that I find to be really interesting when you're working with the data that WEVO provides is you get both a macro and a micro view. So you can look at, like, did the messaging land? Is the purpose of this experience being conveyed effectively? And then you can dig into individual elements by way of the heat map tool to say, okay, well, this is where we're breaking down. Even though we were trying to make a specific point here, it's clearly not resonating, or it clearly is resonating. And so I think from the standpoint of user flow, it drives a lot of insights. From the standpoint of messaging, it gives you a lot of ideas about how to optimize. And then within unit testing, you have an opportunity to say, okay, these are the elements where our messaging or our intent broke down. And so that happens to be really effective. I think for us as individuals who are looking to make an impact on an overall consumer experience.
I'd say similarly, and maybe said a different way. One thing that we talk about with our clients with WEVO is we get to see the forest and the trees for certain individual pages or competitor pages or even emails. We get to see impressions and overall experience ratings for the whole page itself, but we also get to see unit feedback on those individual elements that may add up to an add to cart click or a submission request for a lead. So we get to have, again, that concert of those different experiences and how they interact, but then also individually, which can be really, really helpful for running those into A/B test opportunities or where to start. That's something that we've heard from a number of clients that are especially coming out of sort of the pandemic world. And I know there's something wrong with my website, I just don't know where to start. WEVO can help you kind of have that canon to point where to start.
And another thing you mentioned is experimentation. I think within the context of experimentation, what tends to happen is when you go in and you're looking to optimize an experience through A/B testing or other experimentation practices, it's pretty obvious what needs to be fixed out of the gate. Early on, it's relatively straightforward to have some wins or to experiment around aspects that brands know to be an issue, but don't really know how to manage within experimentation. So that's all fine and good. But I think once you get to the point where you sort of hit some of the big ones and the easy wins, then it becomes a bit more challenging to say, where are the best ideas? What are the recommendations that should occur and be run into experiments? And I feel like that's where WEVO can provide a lot of texture and insights around what users would like to see or aren't seeing, So I think it can really refresh an experimentation program and allow you to continue to make gains on that front where, if you're staring at the same set of problems on a week to week or month to month basis, it may become difficult to see, what's the next opportunity for you.